got him. Little guy. There we go. You can see that fish is barely big enough to get that. Well, welcome back, guys. It is officially Sunday. It is cold and wet again. I got run off the water yesterday, or off the bank, I guess, from the storm that blew in. And so I wanted to come back out this morning. The weatherman said it was supposed to be semi-dry this morning, but it's already wet and gross, but it's spotty in the sky. So we're gonna give it a shot and see if we can't follow through on this sleeper gill and get a fish to actually stay on. Let's see if we can't make it happen. Got him. There he was. All right. Not a very big fish, but just to show you, I finally got one on, and it took a fish big enough to get that in his mouth like that. Fish on. Oh man, he's right on that stump. It must not have been a very big fish. There he is, got him. I got him the second round. He's barely big enough to get that hook too. Got him. Hey, that's not a bad fish there. He's just fighting really good. Well, that's 3 bass in a row about that size, so that's probably the smallest fish that you'll catch on one of these, and that's about a 12-incher. I think this bait is designed very well for most bluegill baits. They're usually very difficult to hang a fish, and this one seems to be hanging them fairly well. Beaver. Big beaver too. Oop, I got a fish too. That's a largemouth. Little guy. Oop, I got something. This feels like it could be a crappie or a bluegill. It's a bluegill. Not a bad bluegill. Whoa. That black and chartreuse jig will catch everything in the water. Literally. There he is. Wow, this sucker's pulling hard. What do I got? Another big bluegill. Nice. Whoa. Ooh, they got a fish right there. Ooh, trolling motor's hitting stuff. That's a largemouth. Little guy. There he was. Another largemouth came right off that stump. Decent fish. Off that black and chartreuse. There he was. What I got? Largemouth? Yeah. There's a bunch of largemouth in this little shallow flat. That's a decent one too for 6-pound line. He's about the same size as the rest of them. He just fought like a big guy. There he was. Another largemouth. Guys, this is a lot of fun. There's almost nobody on the water today. There's a couple other boats and they all went to the other end of the lake. I pretty much have this whole end of the lake to myself. The water is peaceful. There's a little bit of a breeze. It's making it a little chilly, but aside from that, you know, fishing in February is not bad. There's a lot of fish up against the bank. For being wintertime, there is. You don't have to fish offshore out in the middle. I mean, you can fish like you normally do. See, that's 2 bass back to back right here. And I'm just cruising down the bank, throwing light tackle. I was catching them on that sleeper gill, but I wasn't catching as many as I wanted to, so I switched over to lighter tackle so that I can catch more of them, because there's way more fish like this. The big fish I don't think have moved up yet, but I mean, you can cruise the bank and catch all the small fish you want. Bluegill are biting, bass are biting. So guys, get out here and get with it. Just so you can see, I've got that on a 1/16 ounce jig head with a sickle hook, and it's just a black and chartreuse jig, and I'm just cruising the bank throwing this thing, and then I can see it in the water because the water's so clear, and you see it'll just disappear when you got a fish. There he is, another bass. Fish has got some color to him though, doesn't he? Another one. I'm telling you guys, it is just back to back. Ooh, that's not a bad fish. A little bit bigger, not a lot, but compared to what I've been catching. All right guys, I'm gonna try to pinpoint this fish. There's a tree in the water right there, not a very big one, but the rest of this last little stretch of bank, you know, 80 yards to 100 yards of the bank, there hasn't been any real structure. That's the first bit of hardwood structure that's in the water. So I know there's going to be a bass sitting right there. In the spots where there's a whole bunch of timber, it's hard to pinpoint them, but this long stretch there's been nothing, and most of the fish have been coming off of some type of structure like that, which tells me there's a bass sitting right there. So I'm just going to creep this along the side of it. All right, I didn't get a bite, but I'm assuming he's there just the same. I just missed him, so I'm gonna go on the other side. There he was. Yep. Guys, most of these little TWRA lakes around Memphis have got no creel limit on largemouth bass under 18 inches. You can keep as many of these as you want because there's so many of them. Which makes it a good fishery to come have fun, especially if you want to bring kids out here, because you can catch so many of these fish. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know how many I've caught. I've probably caught over 20 of them so far this morning. There's no way I can put all of them in the video because there's just too many. And this is February, so you got to remember that. It's February, and the fishing is usually a bit slower. Got him right there. Whoa. On the sleeper gill. Not a very big one, but he'll do. There he was. Look at that. I drug it over that whole tree. When I got right past it, he choked it. I mean, look at that. Dude choked it. And that's a small fish. All right, guys, I am leaving Glen Springs for the day. I caught a ton of fish. I probably caught at least 30 fish today. I'm not going to be able to put them all in the video because, you know, people don't have the attention span to watch somebody catch that many fish. But this is the bait. I realize it's backwards on the screen, but if you don't have one of these, you probably ought to order a few of them. When they first came out, they sold out pretty quick, but they're restocked now, so you can order them now. This one is the wild gill color. The one that I caught them on today was just the basic gill color. I will say this bait is a little soft. I mean, it's a swim bait. It's supposed to be. So if it wasn't, it wouldn't have the action that it needed. But I wouldn't throw it somewhere like the river or somewhere that's got a lot of gar, because if a gar bites this, it's just going to shred it. So you need to be careful where you throw this. In a lake like this, which got just largemouth and crappie and brim and stuff, like this is perfect. So I'm going to go to the house and order me 2, 3, 4 more of these. You probably should too. I'll put the link in the description, but that's going to wrap it up today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all have a good one. I'll catch you next time.